Okay, everybody, thanks for tuning in here at the PPA Orange County Cup. We're at the Lifetime Fitness in San Clemente, California. And what a beautiful day we have in front of us as these men's pro singles players are working their way through the bracket. We are seeing fantastic match after fantastic match. So far, we've seen Ben Johns, Tyson McGuffin, and a number of other great players. Gabriel Joseph has made an appearance as well. But now we've got to the quarterfinals. There's 8 players left that are undefeated. And this is one of the first quarterfinal matches we're seeing. Dekel Bar making his appearance on championship court. Let's take a look at their road to this point. I'm going to try to pull up the singles bracket here. Of course, Ben Johns working his way through the top side of that bracket. He's going to be playing Daniel Roditi in another quarterfinal match. Dekel Bar, let's see, he took a path beating Julian Arnold 11-2, 11-1 after he got a bye in the first round. Now he finds himself against Gabriel Joseph, so he's had a relatively easy path to this quarterfinal. Gabriel Joseph also with a bye in the first round, beating Mark Innes 11-4, 11-1, and then finding himself now on championship court against Dekel Bar. I thought, let's see, let's take a look. Jay DeVilliers is also playing Frank Anthony Davis just behind us. Looks like we're going to get kicked off here now as our referee's starting us. Gabriel Joseph's going to be serving first to Dekel Bar. Dekel leaving that ball alone as it sails out of bounds, but not by a whole lot. Gabriel Joseph's going to have a hard time passing the 6'4" Israel native Dekel Bar. Dekel sponsored with Engage. Gabriel Joseph with Electrum. A lot of firepower from that forehand serve of Dekel Bar. Neither one of these players utilizing the chainsaw serve. Both still really like and enjoy their traditional serve. It's a great passing shot right there. Dekel Bar early in this match looking sharp with a 2-0 advantage. I think that serve from Dekel Bar is really putting a lot of pressure on Gabriel Joseph here early in game one. He's lifting up and really attacking it. If you watch closely, you'll see how Gabriel Joseph matriculates from the baseline to the net very athletically. As he rips that forehand for a winner. Gabriel Joseph, one of the most athletic and nimble players that we have on the tour. Always fun to watch. He's a firecracker. Boy, that ball just missing. Gabriel Joseph questioning to the referee not overturning that call. I believe that ball was out. A little known fact, Dekel Bar is 1.5 feet taller than world famous Dave Weinbach, the Badger. Gabriel Joseph finding himself down 4 here in game 1. I think Dekel Bar is just an extremely difficult person to play against. The body language from Gabriel Joseph right now is not good. Gabriel Joseph using that speed right there. He's faster than a torpedo coming off a man's head in a hurricane. My goodness. That's a good shot there from Gabriel Joseph to change the momentum. He's got to get some stuff going in the right direction. His body language a little negative right now. He's a player that plays on emotion. So it can be good or bad depending on what's going on. Boy, that is a tough serve from Dekel Bar. I mean, he is really cranking on that serve. He's almost jumping a little bit, but he's not bringing the foot off the ground. He's lifting up. It's very interesting to watch it. That's 2 missed returns in a row as Dekel Bar really putting on a clinic serving. That's a great point there from Gabriel Joseph, but he calls a timeout. Again, we're going to take this 60 seconds, brought to you by Jigsaw Health. Let the players hydrate, and we'll be back to the action in just a minute.
I can't believe it. Ben didn't clean the whiteboard.
Hey, Katie, could you pass me the creamer?
Why don't you just come into the kitchen and get the creamer?
I can't come in the kitchen.
Sure you can.
No, I really can't.
You can come into the kitchen as long as you don't hit the ball out.
All right, Gabriel Joseph calling his own timeout. Now serving at 2-7, and he misses that ball long. Just the body language right now, not great. I've mentioned that a couple times now. He's got to figure out a way to reel this in, or it's going to get away from him in a hurry. Actually, I thought that ball was good, but Dekel Bar not putting up a huge fight, but I definitely think that ball is in. I think Dekel Bar questioned it because he was pretty confident he nailed it. It's a good play there from Gabriel Joseph. Let's see if he can turn things around here. That was a pretty well-executed point. It's now 3-7. That ball missing. He's talking to himself. He said winner all the way, but yet you still have to hit the shot. It's not good enough just to know that it's a winning shot. You have to actually execute there, and he does not. So giving the ball back to Dekel Bar as he hits that massive, massive serve. Joseph struggling mightily with that big, powerful serve from Dekel Bar. That ball dancing on top of the net cord. Dekel Bar hoping the wind would pull that ball over for him, but unfortunately it's now back in the hands of Gabriel Joseph. Once Dekel Bar gets up to that non-volley zone with that 6'4" frame and that huge wingspan, it's extremely difficult to pass him. He's got great touch, great finesse and accuracy, precision. So the idea would be to keep Dekel Bar back. Yeah, that ball's out. Gabriel Joseph just not looking himself. Very flustered right now. Like I said earlier, he's a man of emotion. If he's playing well, he can really turn that into positive momentum. And in the same breath, if he's struggling, then he is going to show this type of body language. I don't know why he's so negative. Oh, he said his serve is stronger than John Isner. So he's definitely struggling with Dekel Bar's serve. I can tell you for a fact that I have faced the serve of Dekel Bar before, and it is a massive serve. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back for game 2 in just a few. All right, we're starting game number 2 as Dekel Bar is kicking off with his serve. As you'll notice, Dekel Bar is wearing a knee brace, a flexible knee brace on his right knee. I'm not sure if that's preventative or if he's got some type of injury, but we'll keep an eye on that. I believe here's what I think is going on. Dekel Bar is an imposing figure at 6'4", with really good court presence, really good court movement, and I think Gabriel Joseph is used to passing people early and often in these points, and he's not able to pass Dekel Bar like he's used to. So I think that's creating some frustration, but he just proved that he can dictate the point right there. So let's see if he can change things around here in game 2. Oh boy, get some popcorn ready because Dekel Bar is putting on an absolute show with that type of shot. You can tell how dialed in he is. 0-0. He's got a unique serve. He holds that ball out in front of him. He lifts it and waits to attack it to the last minute. Really getting a lot of top spin. All right, Gabriel Joseph getting a better game plan here in the second game as he's looking a lot more confident, a lot more aggressive. I figured out that he's looking up at what appears to be his coach, Daniel Roditi, up in the bleachers. He's not getting any coaching. He looks up there to get some positive reinforcement. All right, Dekel Bar down 3 here in game 2. I think Gabriel Joseph's showing a lot more energy here in game 2 already. That first game, his body language was somewhat negative, somewhat poor, but he's looking much better here in game 2, which I like to see. 3-0. Boy, that is really good. Oh, he's saying the win, but that's not really. I don't feel like the wind was the reason he missed that. I think he was just a little too aggressive. He overcooked it out wide. The breeze is a very soft breeze. It's not. We've been in much worse conditions, I can assure you of that. Breeze is picking up a little bit. He does have a point. The wind is picking up just slightly, but it's still not significant. That's just too good. Such soft hands from the big man, Dekel Bar, as he manipulates Joseph on that point. It's hard to anticipate where he's going because he holds the ball on his paddle for so long. Oh, boy, that is disgustingly good right there from Gabriel Joseph. That's what we were used to seeing from last weekend at the APP SoCal Classic. He was hitting that regularly, and now we're seeing him start to pick that up. He needs that in his game right now to really get his momentum back in the right direction. Sometimes you just miss. He had that shot teed up. It was a beautiful looking shot, but it just didn't get over the net. He still finds himself up 2 here. But I'm telling you right now, Dekel is a tough matchup for him because being how fast Dekel is on the court, he's very smooth. He transitions from baseline to kitchen very well, and he creates a lot of problems for the opponents. That was a great passing shot from Joseph, though. Got a timeout called.
I used to keep the mustard packages and pickle juice in my bag.
Just water.
Because I don't drink enough water, and most of the water I drink, I just pour on me.
Do you ever have any problems cramping out on the court?
Sometimes, yeah, and when it's hot.
I'm a big-time cramper.
Occasionally I do, yeah.
Why do you think that is?
Because I play hard.
This right here, the cocktail, the pickleball cocktail is what saves me in my tournaments, has saved me before, and it will continue to save me.
I was playing 8 days a week, playing tournaments all over the place. On June 8th of this year, I had a heart attack. I knew that I wanted to get well as fast as I could. I was talking to a friend of mine. He sent me a sample pack of the stack. Now, even post-heart attack, I love being able to compete with the kids, the jigsaw.
All right, as we come back out of that timeout. Oh, my goodness. That is – but see, what we just witnessed right there is the length and athleticism combined for Dekel Bar as he was able to win that point. All right, we've got a score of 5-2 as Gabriel Joseph looking to stay ahead of his opponent, Dekel Bar. That's so good from Dekel, though. He's able to get that soft touch off an aggressive drive from Gabriel Joseph. I think one of the issues that Gabriel Joseph is experiencing right now is just that length and athleticism from Dekel Bar. He's able to get up to that kitchen and really impose his will. He's got to keep Bar back like that right there. I know that he's been looking up for guidance to his coach, Daniel Roditi. He's got to find a way to get this done in Game 2 if he's going to see a Game 3. Dekel really making Gabriel Joseph work hard. He's able to capture that point, though, and that's a huge momentum thing right there. That sometimes can really get a player going in the right direction. He needed that point, honestly, for his morale and his body language. It is changing. We're seeing it in front of us start to change. It's looking better. He's looking more confident. Even though he missed that overhead, he's definitely on the right track right now. I think he rushed the overhead just a little, to be honest. I think he could have taken his time, even let it bounce perhaps. Dekel finds himself down 4 in the second game. It's crucial right now that Gabriel Joseph finds a way to separate here in game 2, because Dekel Bar is not going to go away easily. I believe the trend that we're seeing is when Dekel Bar can get a really nice deep return, he finds himself moving up to that non-volley zone, and then he's able to really keep Gabriel Joseph off balance and dictate the point. He's winning more points like that than losing. Ball misses. Dekel Bar having a little tougher time on this side than he did on game 1. Gabriel just trying to hit the ball through Dekel Bar right now. That's really good right there. Again, looking up to his corner, Daniel Roditi, for some positive reinforcement. Getting it from Roditi as he claps in excitement for him. All right, a good timeout as it's 8-2 in favor of Gabriel Joseph. He's down a game. He's pushing hard. I like what I'm seeing. We're going to take a quick break. This hydration break brought to you by Jigsaw Health. See you soon.
Beat Simone. Beat Simone. Beat Simone.
You're gonna need this.
Thanks, Ben. Well, hey, Simone. All yours.
Okay, guys, after that timeout from Dekel Bar, he finds himself down in a hole 6 as Gabriel Joseph really looking to impose his will. That's a nice no-look on the forehand. He looked left and went right. Dekel Bar on it, just sailed it long. Now a 7-point advantage for Gabriel Joseph. Looks like a completely different player from game 1. He's really looking to get that forehand drive whizzing past his opponent in Dekel Bar, but great return. I think that set up the whole point there for Gabe Joseph. Beautiful, beautiful execution. Each time one of these players can get to the non-volley zone first, it seems like they have a better opportunity and advantage, even in singles. All right, we've got game point for the second one. Oh boy, that's tough right there. hope that doesn't come back to bite Gabriel Joseph, as he had the game on his paddle and missed it right at the top of the net cord. That's a nice passing shot. Dekel Bar really executing well. Still down 7, so he's got some work to do. That one clipping the net. Apologies from Joseph, but he's not really that sorry. If he was, he'd give the point back to his opponent Bar, so we know that's just a formality. 10-3, looking like a completely different player in game 2. Oh man, that's only the length of Dekel Bar that got that point done right there, as Gabriel Joseph was trying to end it. Bar not going anywhere. He's just off a little bit on his passing shots right here in game 2. Dekel Bar, I'm referring to. Game 1, he couldn't miss. Game 2, he's giving the ball back too quickly. He's not putting points on the board, and he's giving Gabriel Joseph too many opportunities like that one to end it. I think Dekel Bar kind of knew after that first one clipped the net. 11-3 finish. I'm going to see if I can get a special guest in the booth with me for game 3. Give us just a second. We're going to take a quick break. This is Scott Golden. We'll be back soon. All right, guys, this is Scott Golden. We've just kicked off game 3. I've got a special guest in the booth, Daniel Roditi. What's up, Daniel?
How are you?
I'm great, man. First of all, I'm surprised you're in one piece after last weekend.
Well, kind of. I'm sort of patched up together.
Are you playing singles today?
I am. I'm waiting, playing Ben, probably here next after this match. So
that's great.
Quarterfinals, yeah.
That's great. You're in the quarterfinals. You're a beast on the court, singles, doubles, and mixed doubles. Talk to us about this game 3 right here. It's a tale of two tapes. 11-3, Dekel Bar took the first one. Relatively easy, a lot of unforced errors from Gabriel Joseph.
Right.
Turnaround game 2, you get with some guidance from you between games. He comes out a lot more positive, a lot more energy, takes it 11-3. What do we need to see from Gabriel Joseph in game 3 to take down Dekel Bar?
Yeah, I think, for Gabe, him staying positive is a huge thing. That's what I keep telling him. Keep your head up. Don't get down on yourself. Don't mope around. Keep your head up. Stay confident. Because when you see a shot like that, right, it's easy to kind of get deflated. Dekel has such a big serve and such a big forehand that, he can rattle out just, 4 or 5 points in a row. He puts so much pressure on you with his serve.
That's what I was noticing.
It makes it, you know that his forehand is so big, you feel like your return has to be so good. And so that puts a lot of pressure on you. But when Gabe is, he's so fast. And so when I told him, I said, serve big. Don't hold back. Serve big. Because his passing shots are so good. And so if he can put a little pressure on Dekel,
keep
as
Dekel
trying
back
to come in, Gabe has incredible passing shots from both sides, from his forehand and backhand, which, you don't always see. But Dekel's very tough.
Yes.
So it's anybody's game. Obviously, that's pickleball, but especially when you got guys like both of them who are so good, it just, the difference, it's so small sometimes. Even if the score doesn't show it, you can go on a run for 5-6 points.
Well, and that's what we've seen in the past from Gabriel Joseph. He's one of the most talented players that we have on the tour, but his emotion is what he thrives on and rides his wins and losses off of those. And it's going to be important in game 3 for him to keep himself in check, keep himself focused, and going in the right direction.
Exactly.
I've often said this. These players at this level, you really don't get beat all the time by the opponent. You get beat by yourself.
Right.
You either beat yourself or you don't. And because the margin is so small at this level, these guys are all gamers, every single one of them, including yourself. So I think it comes down to the positive mental attitude that people can maintain through these important points.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's one of the big things for Gabe is his mental game. He can come back. I mean, I unfortunately I've been on the wrong end of that several times where I have a big lead, and I know he can fight back. So I always tell him, like, look, dude,
never give up.
Play him like you're playing me. Like, you're still in it, and fight back. And I don't coach him officially. I'm not his coach. But I just went. We're such good friends that anytime he's playing, I love being on his corner and just helping him out. Really less strategy and more just keeping him upbeat, keeping him positive,
Absolutely.
keeping him, focus on the right things and not letting 1 point get you so down that it could turn into 2 or 3.
The circumstances can sometimes change the outcome of a game if you let it, if you allow it. I think one of my favorite players to watch is Gabriel Joseph, because when he really strikes that fire, it is hard to keep him down. He is going to be already as a force, and we're seeing him more and more in big games produce.
Yeah, one of the big things when he's going into tournaments that I talk to him about, and again, I'm not officially his coach or anything. He's a good buddy of mine, and I see him like a little brother, and I just tell him, don't worry, don't set expectations of you have to get to a certain, whether it's the medal stand or gold or whatever. Just play your game. The results will take care of themselves, because I think he just puts too much pressure on himself that.
And that can oftentimes be destructive.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you focus too much on the wrong thing.
Right.
That's great advice, and that's something that I actually have struggled with as well, playing as a 5.0 player myself. I find if you worry too much about winning and losing instead of just playing point to point, you will often not get the results that you want.
Yeah, absolutely. When I've had my better results is when and especially now, I'm 45 competing with these guys.
Unbelievable.
I just go, there's nothing to prove. Just go in there and have fun. And I know I can play with them, but if I put too much pressure on myself, I don't play as well as I could. And so with Gabe, I think coming in into pickleball just a couple years ago, he knew he could be really good. But I think just him needing to be patient that, you could be one of the best players in the world.
Yeah, he knows that.
But there's a lot of great players. So on any given day, you just have to stay positive and not feel like, I should be beating this guy, and just play your game.
Absolutely. There's one thing that you touched on is a big serve. He just hit that serve at the baseline, at the feet of Dekel Bar, forcing that error.
Yep.
And now he finds himself tied 3 apiece in the third game.
Yeah, it's the same on both sides. It's they both have such great passing shots that is the same thing for Dekel. And that's why I told Gabe, serve big, don't hold back, just serve big, because your passing shots are so good. And so you have to, if you don't put pressure on them with the serve, then your passing shot is going to be a tougher shot to make, because they're going to be, especially Dekel, he's so big, he's so tall, he's so long, he covers so much court, he's very difficult to pass.
Very difficult. That's what I was noticing. Gabe is used to passing people early in the point and really getting the momentum swinging in his favor. Dekel creates a big obstacle to get by, and he's also very quick compared to the size of most of the people that are at his stature. They don't move like he does.
No, he can Ernie. He can do all kinds of stuff. There was a point earlier, when we were talking that Gabe actually could have Ernied a shot that Dekel hit. He just doesn't, even though Gabe has more than enough ability to do that, and he's super fast, Dekel would have taken that ball, would have Ernied it, and then created an angle or created a more difficult shot. And so
for sure,
those are things that I think Gabe's going to keep picking up the more he plays tournaments, the more he watches other players, and that's going to help him.
Definitely. So we found ourselves tied 3 apiece. Daniel Roditti claiming he's not an official coach of Gabe Joseph, but I did notice he is looking up to the crowd. I noticed early, even in a prior match, he was looking up there between points. I could tell it wasn't for coaching. It's not for coaching necessarily at that point. It's for that positive reinforcement. And one point he had early in this game, or late in the game too, he really looked up there, and you gave him a clap. And I noticed it was you at some point. I tried to figure out who he was looking at.
Right.
Everybody needs that person in their corner, don't they?
Yeah. I feed off the energy of the crowd or people who are watching. It helps me for sure, and I know he really feeds off of it. He loves being on center court. But more than that, he loves having, I think, someone to look to. And his dad is here, which is awesome. His dad is watching down there.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And so he's certainly looking at his dad. But I just love pumping him up. I love getting him going. And even if we're playing in the same tournament, I'm a big fan of Gabe's, and I love when he does well. I really am so happy for him. And he had a great last couple weeks, and so he wants to keep it going.
That ball just out. An apology from Gabe Joseph, but you're really not that sorry, because if you were, you'd give the point back, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's
and Gabe is one of the most honest to a fault, where he is generous with calls, that he will play balls that are out I know with me it's happened so many times that there's times that I'll ask the ref if they saw it, because I don't want him to give me a free point.
Yeah.
When, because it's just, I know he's trying to be nice, but he's very, very super honest. Just a great guy to play against.
I agree.
In that sense.
And the same for Dekel. I think Dekel is known as a guy who's an honest, fair line call pro, and that one just missing as well. I noticed in game one, the difference was the unforced errors from Gabriel Joseph. He had a lot of returns that missed, giving the advantage to Dekel Bar. But in game two and game three now, Dekel's been a little off on his offensive shots.
Yeah.
He's not clipping the lines like he sometimes does, and he's struggling just a little bit here in game three. He's got to figure out a way to reel those shots back in and get them to land if he's going to beat Gabe Joseph.
Yeah, and then the other aspect right now is the wind. It's pretty windy, and so when you have such small margins, there's ball that sailed a little bit long. There's such small margins to get the ball by the players because they're so fast. The wind can make a big difference, and it's in your head. That's an aspect of things. And I know in my last match I was thinking about the wind. I was having a hard time passing because the wind was kind of holding the ball up, and
Absolutely.
That's my game. And so that's kind of gets in your head of feeling like you have to hit the perfect passing shot.
Sure.
Because the wind will hold it up if you don't.
Yeah, definitely. No, it is picking up. The wind was not in existence early this morning, but it's really starting to get going. Gabriel Joseph frustrated a little bit, missing that backhand slice deep at the baseline. They're going to switch now at 6.
6-5.
What's for both these players, when it's game 3, it's all on the line to move on to the semifinals, you've got to get it done. What does the player have in their mind, or what should they have in their mind on the switch right here to keep themselves engaged in the game?
It's 6-5, so it's very tight still, right? And you can feel the wind. I mean, even as we were talking, you could hear it, coming through. And you have to be aware of it, but to some extent you have to block that out, because then it can kind of get in your head, and you can almost overplay the wind sometimes. You're worried about the wind, so then you don't hit the shot that you would normally make. And, right there, Gabe missed a couple returns, just barely long, and the wind was going in that direction, so that might have been, played a part. That went from being a perfect return to a free point. And so it's going to come down to just the small little things. It's such a small margin right now. 6-5 is, practically tied, and it's just 5 points away for Dekel, 6 for Gabe. It's going to come down to who plays the big points better, who makes less mistakes, right, and forces that on their opponent.
But again, I think a lot of that is mental, because I know for me, because I'm a player as well, it's like if I don't engage my brain and live in that moment, you can find yourself just going off path so easily. And we're going to see if Gabriel Joseph or Dekel Bar can keep it engaged and focused here down the stretch. Okay, Gabriel Joseph getting that.
Yep.
Basically, it's a timeout. At the end change, it's 60 seconds to try to regroup. It's a bonus. So now he's got the ball down 1. That's a big serve, really big serve there for Gabriel Joseph. To your credit, that's what you told him to do, is cut loose on that serve, give yourself an advantage right out of the gate.
Yeah, you have to. Right there he got a little bit of a fortunate bounce, meaning for Gabe. Obviously unfortunate for Dekel. That ball did not come up at all. That was a really bad bounce, which is, bad luck for Dekel. I don't know that they're going to replay that.
Well, so that's what I was going to bring up. Oftentimes you don't redo the play if it didn't affect the actual shot, meaning like that ball hit and didn't come up, but Dekel is not going to have another opportunity. But if it happens, like it's hard to explain. There are some little nuances with it where they sometimes will let you redo it.
Right. If it's a clear crack on the ball and the ref feels like it was not just a bad bounce, but it's actually a cracked ball, then they could replay it. But they still switched the ball. Dekel asked for it to switch. Gabe just missed the backhand there, but that's a shot. He's got those shots. I told him, I said, just unleash your passing shots, let him go.
And he is known to really hit that ball hard with that electrum paddle.
Yeah.
Now, this is what we were talking about.
There.
If he allows that type of error right there to get in his head, this thing could spiral out of control. He's got to regroup and make sure that he keeps this game close.
Right. That's another big serve right there. It hits the baseline. It sets up the point, and unfortunately for Dekel, that was a ball that he would normally put away. And I think for people watching, sometimes they see a missed return and they see, that's an unforced error, kind of. When it's a big serve, it's not it's more of a forced error because
that's right.
Because it's such a difficult serve to return that it's not just like an easy ball sitting in the middle of the court. It has a lot of pace, and the next one coming after that is going to be a big shot too.
Absolutely. So now he's gained the advantage, 8-7. This is a really close match. I got to tell you, that ball last week was dropping in for Gabriel Joseph in that final against J.W. Johnson and the prior match against Jay DeVilliers.
Right.
But Dekel Bar with an opportunity.
Yeah, and I think the length of Dekel sometimes, it forces you to hit a tighter angle, right? You have to paint the lines, hit the corners because he can get to something that isn't quite perfect. So that puts pressure on your passing shots. But that's a shot that Gabe's got, that cross-court backhand. And his cross-court forehand is so big.
Monster.
It's like a slap. And when he lets it go, it is so tough.
Well, he's definitely special in that respect because it's not often that you can see a player in pickleball with the court being only 20 feet wide and 44 feet long pass pro players without them ever putting a paddle on it.
Yeah.
It's special.
Right.
I've watched enough pickleball in the last 5 years. I can tell when somebody's got a special shot.
Yeah.
And if that thing's firing on all cylinders, it's dangerous, as we just saw.
That's a match point now. He's got 10.
So we're going to take a quick hydration break. Brought to you by Jigsaw Health. Scott Golden joined in the booth by Daniel Roditi. We've got game point on the line and match point. We'll be back to the action in a minute.
Cody, just got to use a little finesse, man.
Finesse?
Finesse.
I got your new paddle.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Could you sign it?
10-7, okay. All right, guys. We've got 10-7. Oh, and an unfortunate error on the serve. I think he was going for a lot there. He was trying to pull Dekel off the court, basically.
Yeah. And that was a good timeout for Dekel. Makes you think about the match point serve. That's a huge serve right there.
Oh, boy, that's the kind of stuff that he needs for him to be able to close these type of games out against a top professional in Dekel Bar. But that's what he feeds off of.
That's right. Yeah, it took everything in me not to yell along with him since I'm in the booth right now.
Well, I asked you to come in the booth with me, and I apologize.
This is great. No, this is great.
I know you want to be there for him. So he got it done. What is that he's doing right there? Tell me.
Ice in the veins.
Ice in the veins.
He's
okay.
Like, I got ice in the veins. That's his thing.
He keeps doing that, and that's something I've seen recently, but I wanted to clarify that for the people watching if they didn't know either. Ice in the veins. Gabriel Joseph able to overcome huge Israel native Dekel Bar. And Scott Golden, Daniel Roditi will be up next round. We might be seeing Daniel Roditi against number 1, Ben Johns. We'll see what he can do.